Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, April the, where are we, 4th? 3rd of April, 2024. Let the record show that all board members are present tonight and the meeting was properly advertised. Was a working session prior. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance. Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
All right, we'd like to offer public comment at the beginning and end of each meeting, so we'll go ahead and offer that now. Don't see anyone from the public here, but I believe Ryan has something that he wants to address.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a real quick shout out to the sewer collections and wastewater treatment plant folks. Over the last couple of days, we have had, don't know if anybody's noticed, a little bit of rain, and it is continuing to cause havoc throughout town. But just to give an example, we had 1.93 inches of measurable rain, and our normal flow prior to that, the wastewater treatment plant was 2 million gallons a day. Our 24-hour max flow went from 2 million gallons a day average to 8.8 million gallons. And then our 48-hour high flow total was 12.5 million gallons of water. We also have one of our major pumps is down. So Tony and his crew were scrambling, to say the least, and so far so good. I'm not about to jinx anything, but they did a great job. It's a dedicated staff on the collection side and on the wastewater treatment plant side. And so I just wanted just to kind of give them the unsung heroes behind the scenes a shout out on that situation.
So, can I ask a question, please? Did I hear you right that our maximum inflow was 12.5 million gallons?
Bring that back up.
Is this plant inflow, is that per day, per hour? What?
That's 12.5 million gallons a day. That was what our 48-hour high flow was. So peak, basically, not the average, but that's what we peaked out at, was the 12.5.
Okay.
And the plant's rated for 15 million gallons. So, this is just it's a great example of we are continuing, sewer lining, trying to continue to combat infiltration. And it's an uphill climb, to say the least, because even when you do lining in one area, if that other area below it in the stream is just as bad or worse, that's you run that risk. But we've done a great job in combating this, and we have another large project in the works now for sewer lining and manhole rehab to continue to combat the infiltration situation. So,
but there's also been some indication in the past that improperly connected sump pumps that are draining private residences' basements directly into our wastewater system is a problem. Is that still part of the problem from your estimation?
Oh, yeah, it contributes. Gutters, some houses have gutters hooks directly into to a line that flows into the sewer. And so basically every gallon of clear water and clean water that goes through costs us the exact same amount to treat, but it's not necessary, so there's a cost associated with that. And then also, wastewater treatment plants are built off of dirty water. So if you bring clean water in, you are actually diluting the process and making it less efficient by adding clean water, because it thrives with dirty water. It does not do well with clean rainwater, or anything that like that. So it's a problem, but it's part of the problem. And we would always encourage people to have their sump pumps hooked up legally. There is there's an ordinance for that. But on our end, what we can control is definitely the I&I associated with older sewers, associated with leaking manholes, and items like that. So that's kind of the project that we are going for. But yes, sump pump connections are an issue.
Did we have any sanitary sewer overflows during this period?
None reported.
Good,
None reported.
good.
Yeah, just wanted to highlight, I think you said this, but the plant is designed to treat 5 million gallons a day, but it's hydraulically designed that it can pass 15 million gallons a day for a rain event. So just, we still need an expansion, even if it's past 12. It's passing that much clear water. They can make changes to the plant so they can get the clear water through and still meet permit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you did not intend to open this can of worms today, so I
didn't.
apologize. As I'm listening to what you're saying, in my mind, I hear, okay, we have a separated system. We should have stormwater flow, we should have sanitary sewer flow. So, even in a big rain event, in my mind, I would think, all right, there should be no increase in inflows into the treatment plant. I understand that is probably an unattainable standard, but your number seemed high to me, even with a rain event. Are you concerned about how much inflow we're getting? I mean, and maybe the better way for me to ask the question is, what if zero is unachievable standard, the gold standard, how much inflow is acceptable and to where we would get to that's like, okay, this is manageable?
That's a great question. Engineering wise, I'm not sure what that number would be. I can definitely look into it and report back. Concerned, yes, always. Anytime that we have water coming in like that, it is a concern. However, it's not to the point to where we ever felt like we would exceed our capacity, or it would be at an emergency level, I guess. But our goal is zero. Our goal will always be, and which is why, we've invested in monitoring equipment, flow data gathering. We used to do lining based kind of on age. So if this section of sewer is old, that's what we want to go after. Well, that wasn't always the best case because some of that older stuff was in great shape. And so we weren't getting the bang for our dollar as far as an investment. Now we use, the criteria is age, the criteria is flow monitoring, the criteria is data gathered with if you'll remember the video of the SL rat, to where you could put the sonar on both ends and check the flow in that, and it grades it out. And so the scope of this year's lining has been based off all the data that's been gathered. And we have an area that the SL rat, along with flow monitoring and everything else, has determined has a high I&I rate. Tree roots, there's a lot of, you can do everything right, and one tree in the wrong spot could take you away from zero again. So we have a tree cutting route that we actually go on, and we know every year we have to maintain certain lines. So there's a lot to it, but it is something that the board has supported, and the crew is 100% bought in as far as being aggressive and trying to do everything that we can do on all aspects to combat this. And there is education on sump pumps, illegal connections or unacceptable connections, but then there's also what can we do on our end, and it's what we're trying to continue to do. But yes, it is concerning. It's always concerning because we're spending money that doesn't need to be spent. Every time we treat a clean gallon of water, that's money that does not need to be spent. That's ratepayers' money that we would like to invest elsewhere.
I could add on to that Ryan's done a pretty good job addressing I&I since we started working together on this. We did a project where I think there's like, is there 9 permanent flow monitors out there now? We used flow monitoring to identify some problems out in the system. One of the ones that comes to mind is there's a church that was like a major inflow that you guys fixed, that it was complicated because it was on private property. So we saw a big payback on that, and we can actually see payback on some of these lining projects. And also historically, Lebanon wasn't always a separate sewer system. There was a time in the past where it was a combined sewer system. So what that means is there's old parts of town where there's not really storm sewers. And there's a stormwater department they have capital projects to put in storm sewers in those areas. It's expensive, it takes time, but that's gonna help with the problem. Percentage-wise, our normal flow is about 2 MGD and go up to 8. That's percentage-wise, that's definitely something for us to target to save money. Commissioner Smith mentioned the sump pumps. Complication with the sump pumps is it's private property, and there's only so much we can do on private property. But that's definitely something we want to address. But right now we've just addressed it with design on the plant where we have the hydraulic capacity. As we grow, the problem should diminish as a percentage because the new sewers that are put into our city standards that we're constantly updating, they shouldn't have I&I. There'll be plastic pipe, or the I&I will be manageable. We'll have actual manholes and not these lamp holes that are just holes in the ground where water gets in. And we can, there's a sense in which you can grow your way out of the problem. As 5 years from now, when the system is maybe 10 MGD, the I&I should stay relatively the same and the plant can handle it better. So we're doing everything we can to address it, but we definitely need to keep it on our radar.
Yeah, Ed brings up a good point. If it was always 2 separate systems like we have now, I believe that number would be drastically lower. But for a long period of time, it was one system, and then it had to be separated, which is much easier said than done. So that there's opportunities there for improvement, and our crew's doing a great job of doing that and managing that and staying in communication with what they see. The wastewater treatment plant, sewer collections crew both work together on pretty much every project. And if you'll remember, a project that we just completed last year as part of an add-on to Reese Park Phase 1 was Fordyce. We did camera work in Fordyce, and there was, I think, less than 20% of the connections 80% of the connections had faults in them in that line. Some of them we couldn't even find where they were supposed to be connected. So redid all of Fordyce, diverted our lining money toward Fordyce, diverted it, redid that, put all brand new connections in, and we've noticed the flow monitoring in that area it's increased greatly. The I&I is down, I think 70-80% in that area, which is huge, and a lot of it is coming from a different basin. If we could just isolate that basin, it'd even be a higher number. And with flow monitoring, what we've started adding, any projects that we do, any lining or anything in that, going forward, we're going to add permanent flow monitors into that project. It's going to be part of the budget. Then we will continue to have a database, and we also have some flow monitors that are not permanent. So if we are trying to find data in a certain area, we can bring them into that area, but they don't always have to be there. We can move them around for data gathering purposes.
One other comment that I think shows improvement. And you correct me if you think my conclusion is incorrect. You know, just a few years ago, if we had a 2-inch rain, we'd have a sanitary sewer overflow somewhere. And if we didn't have a sanitary sewer overflow, you know, with this 2-inch rain, that to me indicates improvement. Am I overgeneralizing?
No, that's 100% accurate. And that's the majority of our focus with 100% board support has been to eliminate all known routine sanitary sewer overflows. And we were very specific in projects that could help eliminate that, and we were very specific with dollars going toward those projects. So I think what we're seeing is the kind of the domino effect. We are actively eliminating known sanitary sewer overflows. But with that being said, the water is now, instead of coming out in a manhole in somebody's front yard, thank goodness it's not, it's coming to the plant. So, it's such a process. But if I had to pick whether I'd rather have extra flow in the plant or sanitary sewer overflow, I mean, obviously there is no choice. It's always bring that water to the plant because that's the safest for public health. That's the only option.
All right, anything else for Ryan? Appreciate the comments, Ryan, thanks.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll jump to the approval of our minutes from our last meeting on March 20th. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and any comments, questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for March the 20th, 2024.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item tonight is the AV upgrade change order. It's an action item, and our general manager will address the board on this change order.
Yes, thank you. The board may recall a few months back, we authorized to pay a percentage of the audiovisual upgrade that we're all experiencing now. We have the new monitors and new microphones and various other things in the other room, and it seems to be working pretty well. Well, that project is complete, and they had two change orders they're very small, they're combined, they're less than 3% of what we'd approved. And what I come to you today is we want to pay our fair share of those changes in the amount of about $2,146.12. So I would request a motion from the board to approve these change orders.
All right, thank you, Ed. Questions for Ed, discussion?
Originally, I voted no on this AV upgrade because the pilot payments that approaching $600,000 a year that we're making to the city, and that this month we're in our claims is more than $50,000 of pilot payments just for this month, and I think the city should use those pilot payments for this purpose. So I'll be consistent, and I'll vote no again for the pilot reason.
All right, any other discussion? If not, I entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the AV upgrade change orders with AV designers for the amount of $2,146.12, bringing the overall not to exceed $71,137.74.
Bill, second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve the AV upgrade change order with AV designers for the amount of $2,146.12, with an overall not to exceed of $71,137.74. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
No.
Okay, next item is resolution number 2024-04. It is an action item, and believe this will be tabled until our next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, Board, I would ask that this resolution be considered or be continued until the April 17th meeting.
We need to,
Yeah, I'll take a motion for that.
I move to continue Resolution 2024-04 to the April 17th meeting of the Lebanon Service Utility Board.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Bill to continue resolution 2024-04 to our next meeting in April. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that moves us to information item from Ryan. Ryan, you would like to discuss the 120 water presentation tonight?
Yes, sir. In the working session earlier, we had a presentation from 120 Water. They're a partner of Lebanon Utilities on helping us with the new updated lead and copper rules that have come through the EPA and also with IDEM. And we wanted to get out that here in the future, there will be some residents that will receive a mailer that has a survey on it regarding their private water line. So the private water line would be basically from the water meter to the house. On the homeowner side of the meter. Coming into the water meter from the water main would be Lebanon Utilities, and water meter is Lebanon Utilities, and past that is the homeowner. And so what we are looking for is information related to material that will be accessed or will be data will be needed for this water line, and that includes age of the house is be something that we would want to know. If you know what type of material, you can provide us with that. And there's a few other questions on there. Obviously, is the address correct? Property owner, everything that goes with that. It will have, when it comes in the mail, it will have Lebanon Utility logo on it. And it will have contact numbers. So if there are concerns from the person taking the survey of the legitimacy of this, they will absolutely be able to call Lebanon Utilities. They'll be able to call 120 Water and verify that this is something that is needed and is not a scam. So we understand that unfortunately that type of stuff is out there. There will also be a link if they don't want to do a mailer, they can always go to the internet, and there's a link on there to take the survey there, and it will submit it right away. But if we do send a mailer and that's the way the property owner chooses to participate, it will have a prepaid postage, so the property owner won't be out any money, just a little bit of time, and then it can be mailed back to Lebanon Utilities and 120 Water. So just wanted to get that out there. We will be continuing with active communication on this. We will have examples on our website. We will have examples on social media of what those flyers look like to once again verify the legitimacy of that. And if there are any questions, then we can be reached through customer service or the phone number that's added to the flyer. So I can take any questions on this. We're getting ready to kind of get ramped up in this, and I just wanted to get this out there so we can improve communication on this.
Yep, thanks, Ryan. It sounds like the more heads up we can give the public to understand that this material and survey is coming, the better. So appreciate the information. Any questions for Ryan? All right, looks like you're staying put for the next item. So that's the Grant Street water project change order.
This is that's not a good picture. This is a retroactive change order. We had a scenario in the field as part of the Grant Street water main phase one, Grant Street improvements phase one. On Ann Street and Williams, the Lebanon Utilities, before Grant Street started up, if you'll remember, we relocated the water main. The water main originally was in the concreted in the deck of the bridge on William Street. So we eliminated that water main and bored underneath the creek and brought it up and connected on Grant Street. But during the new water main that was coming in on Grant, at the three-way valve there, so the new water main is in red, and then in the green is on Ann Street, an existing water main.
So the horizontal street is William Street?
Let me see, let me.
Yes. It is.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. So here's the bridge where my finger is here. So this blue area here was going to be old main, but the water main on both ends of this is new water main, and then the valving was new. So what we decided while we were in the field, and Reith Riley had all their equipment there, mobilization and everything, was to replace around 140 feet, all new valves, bring it to a workable depth. That main was over 9 feet deep because of the way that it landed in, and was our backhoe really, if we had an issue in that area, would not have been able to safely navigate that. Our trench boxes just aren't designed for that. Reith Riley had an excavator on site. I did check with Bowen and Kokosing on pricing to see if the cost of this was in the realm, and it was right on there. So financially, it wasn't a huge savings. This is about what it would cost if we would have had anybody else do it. But what was, a big savings was logistics. They had gone through great lengths to maintain school bus traffic in that area, parent pickup traffic, because that's the main route. And so while the road was closed, the detour was all approved. This is an NDOT project, so it would have to all be submitted in that. We were able to take advantage of that, take advantage of not having to rip up concrete, and take advantage of not having a water main that was over 15 years old connected to water main that was 15 days old. So that's what we decided in the field. And so what I'm bringing to you today is the approval, retroactive approval of the change order that was added to the scope of this project.
All right. Thank you for the information, Ryan. Any questions for Ryan? I would entertain a motion. If not,
I move to retroactively approve the Reith Riley change order for the amount of $90,716.02.
Second?
motion made by Tim, seconded by Bill to retroactively approve the Reith Riley change order in the amount of $90,716.02. Any additional questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Ryan, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, next item tonight's the approval of our claims, payroll, and transfers. Everyone had a chance to review those items, and if so, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the claims, payroll, transfers dated March 20th, 2024. Is that right? March 20th? In the amount of $2,364,085.55 for claims and payroll, and $158,330 for transfers.
Second?
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Bill to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers dated March 20th, 2024.
Those should be dated April
April
3rd.
Yep.
Okay.
I apologize.
All right, so that's to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers for April 3rd, 2024. Any additional questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we jump to any other business tonight. Anyone from the board have business they'd like to address? Ed, anything?
No, sir.
All right. We'll offer public comment once again. Anything across your desk, Ed, from the public?
No.
Okay, looks like our next meeting scheduled for the 17th of April at 5 p.m. And if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Bill to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, everyone. We stand adjourned.